Yo, what's going on, guys? And the Indiana Pacers are surging. It's largely because Tyrese Haliburton has been back to the man that we know he is. I talked to Joe Joe Abnasar. Interviewed him earlier this year. Check out the article at hoopshype.com. If you guys don't know who Joe is, Joe Abnasar, Kevin Garnett, Chauncey Billups, a bunch of other legendary players, Zaire Williams, recent guys. And of course, Tyrese is some of the players that he's trained. And I asked him at the beginning of the year what was going on with his rust and everything. And he had said that the problem was a result of him needing to just get back to the flow. He was just basically saying that sometimes players go through these rough stretches, and as time goes by, they'll revert to what they're able to do. And I wouldn't say it was an Olympic hangover or anything, but it was more him just probably working through something. And publicly, it wasn't being stated because why? Why give your opponents ammunition? And now the problem has corrected itself, which if you're a fan of the Pacers, I think that's quite evident that Mr. Tyrese Haliburton is back in playmaking. So what's the current lineup? This is a Pacers squad that has built a very formidable rotation. I know Isaiah Jackson popped Achilles. Benedict Matherin's out with some time right now with an injury. They just brought in Tony Bradley. They have Enforcer James Johnson, who doesn't really play. And same thing with Johnny Furphy, who's a developmental guy. And there are 3 two-ways. But Tyrese Haliburton, Andrew Nembhard, who I really think it coincided, and we talked about this, that Andrew Nembhard coming back allowed Tyrese Haliburton to get back into the flow of things because he didn't feel the shoulder, the need to shoulder the load and create everything himself. So he had a secondary playmaker, and then that helped build his confidence back up as you start to see the ball fall through the net. And Aaron Nesmith is their Swiss Army knife. Pascal Siakam's another guy who's just having an absolute insane season. What is it, 21, 8, and 6? Absurd season. I was looking at Pascal's stats the other day, and I couldn't believe that no one's talking about this. Yeah, 27 and 3. I was being overzealous with the assists, but still 20, almost 21 points, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists, stealing a block a night while shooting 52% from the field, and also shooting great from 3 this year. So 40% from 3. Crazy numbers from Pascal. Then Myles Turner, which I don't think they were ever going to trade him. I think that was just leverage. TJ McConnell, Ben Shepherd, Obi Toppin have all been a really good lineup. I also like Thomas Bryant being kind of a reliable option off the bench who can sort of mimic what Myles does for them in limited minutes, which is what they needed. Now, what did we want to talk about right here? Well, this is a team that's 35 and 25. They're 5th in the East. Haliburton has had this team surging. And let me take a sip of Red Bull, hit the subscribe button, go check out hoopshype.com. Comment your thoughts on the Pacers. Now, him averaging 19 points, 46% from the field, 39% from 3, 86% from the field. Just so efficient, 61% true shooting. Dishing out 9 assists, 12.6 assists per 100 possessions, which makes him one of the best passers. Behind Trae Young, he's probably the second best statistical and just in general passer in the NBA at the guard position. 1.5 steals. That's the other thing, is that I think Tyrese Haliburton doesn't get credit for his defense. I'm not going to sit here and be like he's a maestro, but he's 6'6", man. He's going to get in there. And yeah, the defensive rating is 116 on that end of the floor for him, but that's better than what it's been in the past. The Pacers are the 9th in scoring offense, 116.6 points per game. 8th offensive rating, 116.3. Effective field goal percentage, 56.5. Haliburton's ability to space floor and facilitate open looks for everybody is huge. And him having guys like Pascal Siakam and Nembhard and TJ McConnell create for him is great. We've said it, the 20-7 from Pascal is huge. 15, 6, and 2 blocks from Myles Turner, giving you that floor spacing, rim protection, which allows Pascal to play on the same floor with Tyrese without it getting cluttered. Benedict Matherin's another guy, 16 points a game. I feel like it's the quietest 16 points a game. Then Obi Toppin's just sort of a different player now. They're 17th in defensive rating, and for the most part, I think a lot of the times we would have said, oh, that's not good. But this team used to be so bad at defense. The fact that they're middle of the pack, I've said it regularly before, that teams that are top 10 in offense or defensive rating, and then at least top 15 offense or defensive rating, are, I believe, over 90% of the time in the NBA Finals. Now, they are the 20th and 10th worst rebounding team. I do think that's because they didn't have a true backup for so long. They're running Enrique Freeman, who I love, as his backup center until like Thomas Bryant came. So now that they have a legit backup center, I think things are getting better. So, and they're also in general. By the way, I messed that up. They're allowing their defensive rating 17th in defensive rating. Their 10th worst offensive, I guess, scoring or defensive scoring team. So they allow the 10th most opponents' points per game, while they're, and vice versa, the 9th best scoring. Now, they are the 2nd worst rebounding team in the league. And that's what I wanted to attribute to them not having a big, like, they're supposed to have Isaiah Jackson and James Wiseman, and Myles Turner isn't like a dominant big man to begin with in the rebounding department. So for me, I think one is going to just argue that it was evident they were really trying to solve that, as it clearly was an issue, and it shows. So that's why I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What's your thoughts on all of that, if you guys agree with me or not? I'm definitely curious due to the fact that this is a team. I know the Knicks are probably, like, the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Cavs are the top 3 teams. And then we would put the Bucks, if they stay healthy, and then the Pacers, right? Like, it kind of works out exactly where they rank. They are the 5th best team. But they didn't look like that to start the year, so what the whole point of this video is that Tyrese has gotten them there, so that's cool. I'm happy for them. Let me hear your thoughts on this one. But yeah, bye.